All right, so basically, I've got this into 3 categories. Are these the only 3 categories? No. I think these are the biggest ones to talk about. These are the ones that are feeding my business. These are primarily the foundation of what I use to create a real estate sales team that has topped out at $62 million in sales in a calendar year. Our goal has been 100 for a while, but right now we're just at that 62 million mark. On average, building that up was like, for a while we were at 20 million, and then for a good long while we were at 30 and 40, and so we're just growing and expanding. And so these sources keep the team fed with leads. And so if you think about what I was talking about, that leverage mindset, that broad mindset, like where this could go. Like, where could this go? Some people have friends or family members they really want to be in business with, and this is something that you could build. In like 2009, I spent a lot. I was a younger man then. I could stay up late, but my wife was like, "Listen, get off that computer." I'm like, "Listen, just trust me here. I'm building something here. I'm laying the tracks, the foundation to something that's going to be big." She didn't really understand it at the time, but let me tell you, she gets it now. Okay? So there is a compound effect to what we're talking about here. All right, so everybody who knows me or follows me on Facebook knows that I may have a slight issue with social media in terms of how much I post, how much I'm on it. I think my phone tells me that I'm on Facebook like 4.5 hours a day or something. It's crazy. But this is like the Mecca. Okay, like when I started in this internet lead generation realm, Google was like the it thing. Like search engine optimization was the thing. You wanted to get on the first page of Google. Does anybody know what dominates the first page of Google in our industry right now? It's Zillow, Homes.com, Realtor.com. They just dominate it. So your best bet is maybe getting on the second page if you're not going to pay to get on the first page. So these, like Facebook and Google, have swapped places in the hierarchy of the internet lead generation world. And that's fine with me, because this takes a lot more work than this. I've had agents who have sat in this room and we've talked about doing a Facebook Live video, who have left this room, made a Facebook Live video, and closed a sale from it. Like, this training was the catalyst to leave here, go from point A to point B, shoot a video, which resulted in a conversation that resulted in a closed sale. Just like that. That's how fast and quick and easy it can be. So I'm really good with this, but I love this. We're talking about that perpetuity effect. Like, that's why I have, it's just taken me so long to adapt to things like stories, because anything with a shelf life is like, really? Like, do I really want to go to all the trouble to make that when it's only going to be there for a day? But we're going to talk about stories, and I'm getting there. I'm really more into Facebook than Instagram. But really, as we're talking about this, because it should be obvious to most of you that I have an affinity for Facebook, but it's not that one's better than the other. It's really the one that you're going to do consistently and commit to posting consistently, really daily and multiple times a day, that you're going to really see the results. All right, so let's go through the social networking. And I didn't put Facebook up here for a reason. I went with social networking because I want to change the way you think and look at this stuff. Like Bert has a fairly negative outlook on Facebook. He sees it as a place where people are, being superficial and tooting their own horn and being negative, and there's a lot of conflict. And so what I'm trying to do is I acknowledge that. I mean, that's true. But I'm also saying, listen, don't let that hinder you from the profitability side of it. Just unfollow those people or kind of tune that out and be the light in that darkness, okay? So my wife has a great quote when she was teaching in this training room, our mobile training room once, where she was talking about actual going to networking events. And if you weren't exchanging cards, or if you weren't getting somebody's name and number and then putting that name and number into a database, then you weren't networking. You were socializing. Okay? And so I want you to see this. Most people see social media platforms as just places to go to socialize. And that's not what I'm there for. I'm there to network. Now here's a really crazy, bigger, broader picture of what we're doing here and why I love real estate. Okay? It's called intentional congruence, where everything feeds everything. Okay? So if you think of yourself and what your job is and how you generate business appropriately, if you're at the ball field with your kids and you're sitting in the stands during a game or practice and you're having a conversation with another one of the parents, if you're a professional salesperson, you are not socializing, you are networking. So everything feeds everything. You know, anywhere I go is a potential interview. Anywhere that I go is the potential to create content, to see content and capture it and document it so that it will add value to other people. See that? I mean, it's just like, what I want you to start doing is just looking through a different lens. Like looking for opportunities. That's all I'm asking you to do. Okay? All right, so the purpose of a post is to create engagement. So this is where I feel like a lot of us are making a big mistake. Not every one of our posts is a home run, but the ones that are generating engagement, we're not engaging with the people that are engaging with us. And let's go back to the fundamentals of this. Our job description is to talk to people. That's what your job description is. So your daily action plans, if you ever get up in, like when I started this business, I would get up every day and go, I know I need to do something to create business, but I don't know what to do. And I don't think I ever had somebody pull me aside and go, listen, today your job is to go find people to talk to. Just go talk to people. Go to a stinking coffee shop and start talking to people. Go get involved in something to where there are people where you will actually strike up a conversation. That's all we do. So now we've got this gift where we can just share a post or post and people are going to comment and we just leave them there. We may like their comment, but that's all we do. So think about this, and let's think about this in terms of just a real estate related post. If you post something on your Facebook page, business or personal, and right now, really for the sake of this class, I just want to talk about your personal page. I want you to forget business pages even exist for just this one brief moment. Let's focus on just the personal page. So if you create a real estate related post on your personal page and people, even if they just like it, but most especially if they comment on it, I want you to engage with that person. So I want you to engage with them publicly, because if we engage with them publicly, it gives our post, it breathes new life into our post. So we talked about like perpetuity effect. This has a shelf life. You know, if we're not liking, commenting on or somebody else isn't, these posts will eventually just go away, right? They get replaced by the new and the fresh. But they can get, new life can be breathed into them by a simple like or comment or heart. So what I want you to do is look at who these people are that are supporting your posts. And I want you to publicly acknowledge them, like with a simple thank you, or, you know, really appreciate all the support. Let me know if you got somebody interested in this property. You know, there's a number of different ways you can respond. But then I want you to send them a private message and just let them know how much you appreciate them supporting your posts. Because what happens when they like or comment on our stuff?
Their friends see it.
Yeah, it exposes it to an audience that we may not even be a part of. and they're going to go, oh, what are they liking? What are they commenting on? And so and you can just say something super simple like, I know you probably don't realize this, but that simple act of consistently liking my posts, like even if you aren't reading them, like even if you're just liking them because you like me, you're helping my business, and I just want to say thank you. And maybe that's an opportunity if they're consistently doing it to take them to lunch, really do a little pop by. Maybe you know them so well, you know their favorite candy, their movie candy, you drop off a movie box of candy at their work, like, man, I really appreciate it. This is our job.